Welcome back. It's been a little while, a full week. Apologies for that. I've just not been doing so hot, so I haven't been recording stuff. But today, we've got to take a look at some tanks, because it's Heresy Thursday, the Mechanicum is back, and we have some of their fancy tanks in plastic, which is massively exciting, because frankly, they look awesome, and that means they're good for kit bashing. And that's really my entire logic on this. I'm excited for those of you who get to have nice, reasonably priced, contextually tanks for the Mechanicum, but I'm more excited because they're covered in gubbins, and I like gubbins. So let's take a look. Here we've got it. Mechanicum Heavy Support. The Forges of Mars worked ceaselessly to produce an endless torrent of war machines during the Horus Heresy, both for the Astartes and Solar Auxilia, and for their own armies. And today we're going to have a look at two tanks and a heavy support box, which we'll get to. First up, we've got the Krios battle tank, and stuck in the middle there you can either have a lightning cannon, an irradiation blaster, or a pulsar fusel, which is a silly name, but I do love it. Oh, and technically that turns it into a Krios Venator, because it's important that you add that extra word on the end so you know what it is. Although, weirdly, the irradiation blaster and the lightning cannon don't change the name. Whatever, who cares. For some reason, the source image that they've used for this in the article is smaller than they usually are, so it's a bit weedy, and even if you zoom in, the quality isn't very good, so we're going to have to deal with this for this time, sorry. It is just an excellent looking vehicle. It's so weird. The fact they've gone for, overlapping shields rather than armour, the actual driver, I nearly said pilot. The driver is just sat out in the open at the back there, in his weird carapace chair, instead of snugly safe within the hull of the thing. It's just such an odd vehicle, but that is one of many reasons as to why I love it so much. And this is kind of what I mean when I mean gubbins. There's just so much stuff going on. Because you haven't got layers of armour, and instead it's like a skeletal framework, you've got all these different parts sticking out. It's just a good look. It's just a really good look. I'm still not convinced about the flared end on that cannon. I'm still not sure whether I like that or not, but the rest of it is just fantastic. I don't think it's necessarily accurate to say that it steers fully into steampunk territory, but there's definitely hints of that with the kind of exposed workings, the massive cogs sticking out in the middle, and those sections actually on the side hulls as well that kind of look like cogs but aren't cogs. There's no teeth on them. It just all looks very clockwork in many ways. We've got the other variants here as well, along with a different angle for the back there, which again, that weirdly carapaced C-shaped seat at the back is just so odd. I love it. And of course, these have been around for a little while. The Krios is not new, but the fact that it's coming in plastic, it's just exciting. It's just exciting. It's more parts for the parts bin, frankly. And them not being resin parts makes it far more approachable, which is nice. Plus, if you actually play Mechanicum and you want to actually have these as part of your army, this makes it a lot more sensible and a lot easier to get hold of as well. Some would argue that's why they're doing this in the first place, but I've always got my eye out for kit bash potential, so yeah, these fit in there quite nicely. I do like how of these two weapons, one of them looks like a kind of retro-futuristic weapon, and the other one is just sort of a big gun. Admittedly, slightly weirdly put together big gun, because you've got these gaps in the barrel, but for the most part, yeah, it just looks kind of like a very big gun. Oh, it looks good though. Looks good. The other tank that we're getting in plastic for the Mechanicum is the Karacnos assault tank, which is fantastic. It's one of my absolute favourites from this range. It's just so good. It's a variant of the Trios armor conveyor, but it's got a bunch of guns strapped into the middle of it, which, automatically makes it cooler. And it kind of looks like an old-timey train thing at the front, which is the most important bit. And by old-timey train thing, I mean shock ram. So, you can pick which one of those you want to refer to it as. I know which one I'm going to go with. It is just an excellent vehicle. It's fantastic. Does it make a huge amount of sense? Probably not. Does that matter? No. Because it looks badass. I love the big chunky sides it's got on it, the way that the lightning cannons on either side or the lightning guns hang down, those look great as well. It looks a little bit like, not janky isn't the word. It looks a little bit fragile the way they're dangling there, but for some reason it just adds to the cool factor for me, but I couldn't really tell you why. Got a lovely amount of gubbins going on within the sides there, like all the little cables and pipe work and little vents and stuff. Oh, it's just so good. And it is a properly aggressive looking tank as well. Like, it looks like it means business. It looks like you're in trouble if it goes anywhere near you. So this is the box that I mentioned. It's the Mechanicum Heavy Support box, and it's the first place you'll be able to buy all 3 miniatures, though they will be striking out on their own in due course. Look, we know they're big fans of doing this, and although it does feel like they're just doing it with pretty much anything and everything these days, frustratingly it works. People absolutely lose it over these because they offer usually a discount over buying the model separately, which of course encourages them to keep doing these boxes. When it says they'll be released separately in due course, it's the in due course that I don't like, because there's no indication as to how long it will be. And it's that combination of, well, I would like these now so that I can actually do something with them, but also there's probably going to be a bit of a discount on top that then feeds into the, well, I need to grab the box then. Which, you know, I get it. It totally makes sense. And I'm not suggesting that it's not an effective way for Games Workshop to release newer miniatures, because it clearly works for the most part anyway. But, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe there's a little part of me at this point that's just like, not everything needs to be a box, you know? Not everything. Although, admittedly, those who do get their hands on it will most likely get a little bit of a discount compared to if they have to buy all 3 separately. But then it also means that the 3 aren't coming out really straight away. Instead, there's going to be this, then there's going to be a break, then they're going to come out separately. And either way you look at it, if this box comes out and then the items available separately a week later, it feels off. But then if it's like a month later, that also feels a bit off. I don't know. I'm really going cold on the whole box set thing these days. But that's just me, you know, that's just me. That's just my point of view, my opinion. You may well disagree, and you're absolutely entitled to. Admittedly, that box isn't for me anyway, because I'm not a Mechanicum player, although I do want to pick up one of these and at least one Thanatop. So I'm probably on my way to ending up as one, eventually, if I don't be careful. But, yeah, I just don't want the other thing that's in there. So I'm probably just going to wait and end up with one of these, just for the sake of having it, which is, well, that's allowed, right? That's allowed. Anyway, there you go. That's what we've got for Heresy Thursday today. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think of all that in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about the box as well. I'll be super curious about that. And I will see you for the next one.